All right, so example 4 says find all the zeros of that polynomial there and factor f of x over the set of complex numbers. So I want to find the zeros and I want the factors of it. Well, how can I find the zeros if they didn't even give me one to start with?
P over Q.
Those are my P over Q's, right. So P is going to be the factors of what number?
8.
Which are?
4, 2,
1,
4, 8.
2, 4, and 8. Q is going to be the factors of?
1.
Which are?
1.
Plus or minus 1, right? Alright, so my actual ones I'm going to choose from, because the ones that are actually possible, is the P over Q, which you're going to take all your P's over every Q. Since in this case, it's just the plus or minus 1, 2, 4, and 8, right? All of them, of course, being plus or minus. So we need to pick one to start with.
Let's start with 2.
2?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay.
So don't try not be fluent 2. Should I say 4?
Is there a way to tell what number to pick?
So type it in your calculator and go to graph and.
Alright, so my coefficients.
Your injection just it's not working out.
Oh, yeah.
Good thing I didn't suggest 2 then, huh?
Or just all true false.
All I know is that whoever suggested 2, bad idea. Probably do negative 2 instead. Yeah.
Oops, that's... No, that's right. No, that's not right.
It's not gonna work.
Nah, those numbers are wrong. Sorry. So that's what, negative 24, which makes it negative 48, which makes it negative 40, which is not 0. So I guess, Mr. I never guess wrong.
Starting now, I never got.
Oh, okay. So 4.
That's due.
All right, so we're going to start all over because that one didn't work.
That's true.
It's all right.
What about trial here?
It's all about trial.
Isn't there a way to figure out the only 2 without guessing?
Okay, so we found the 4 worked. So now remember, this problem started out as x to the 5th, which means right now we brought this down to be x to the 4th, right?
Correct.
So we got to keep going. So we need to pick another one.
1.
So,
One does not work.
positive 1.
Negative 2.
Now, listen. Shh.
Negative 2.
I'm just going to use those same coefficients, so I'm just going to build it off of that last one. So I'm going to put that positive 1 that y'all said to try out here.
Okay, I see you.
We're doing 1 now? Okay.
Yeah, one
We're
more.
doing Uno.
1. Oh. Bingo.
So that's great as far as that means. Now it brought me down to, what, x cubed?
Yes.
But I got to pick another one. All right, negative 2.
That's not too big.
I like how you add a little smiley.
Yeah, it's because I'll put the smiley face because I'm happy. I don't have to do it again on that one. I got it smaller.
Yeah.
So it's better than the x. All right, so what this tells me here then is now I'm down to x squared. I don't have an x, so I'm not going to write it. Plus 1, right? But remember, if you're looking for zeros, you can set that equal to 0 and solve, can't you? All right, so let's write this up here. So we know that x squared plus 1, set it equal to 0 and solve for x. Now I can either try to get x by itself, or I can use the quadratic formula. Whichever, you'll get the same answer. The bright point of the quadratic formula is you'll get the correct answer every time. If you do it this way, you'll still get the right answer if you remember when you take the square root, what kind of answers do you get? Plus or minus, okay? All right, so we're going to move the 1 over. So x squared equals negative 1. And then take the square root. So we get x equals plus or minus the square root of -1. And what is the square root of -1 equal to? I. So I got plus or minus I.
Oh my gosh.
You write just I.
Now, no, you have to put plus or minus. So let's recap here real quick. So, what are all the zeros that we said we were going to have? How many zeros should I have total?
5.
How do I know?
Because it's the
That's
greatest
the high
exponent.
power.
Because the largest power. Okay, now remember that first one, that 2 we said did not work, right? So what zeros do I have? X equals,
-4, -1,
now I got +4,
Or -2.
-2, 1,
Plus or minus I.
and then -I, right? Go ahead and split them up. Because it wanted me to factor it. So that's the factored form. Now, since I said and factor it, you don't technically have to put f of x in front of it, but I'm going to. Because it's still the equation. So, now put those zeros into factors. What would you get?
It would just be X. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, but I don't know why you just did that.
Yeah, which way do you want us to write it?
It says to put it back.
It said to put it in factored form. So it said factor it. So that's what I did there.
Done.
But it also told me to get the zeros. So that's what I did right above that.
Yeah.
So there's the two answers that it was looking for.